Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Terry lugged his suitcase up the driveway. Sweat beaded on his forehead, and he couldn't wait to step into the air-conditioned comfort of his childhood home. As he approached the front door, it swung open, revealing his mother's beaming face. "Welcome home, sweetheart," Maureen exclaimed, pulling her son into a tight embrace. "How was the drive?" "Long and hot," Terry replied, returning the hug. "But it's good to be back." They made their way inside, the cool air a welcome relief from the scorching heat outside. Terry plopped down on the couch, sinking into its familiar cushions. "So, what's the plan for the summer?" Maureen asked, settling into her favorite armchair. "Any internships or projects lined up?" Terry shook his head. "Nah, I thought I'd just relax and spend some time with you. Maybe catch up with old friends, you know?" Maureen's face lit up at the prospect of having her son around for the entire summer. "That sounds wonderful, dear. I've missed having you." Her words were cut short by the shrill ring of her cell phone. With an apologetic smile, she answered the call. "Hello? Oh, yes, this is Maureen's cleaning service." She listened intently, her expression growing more concerned by the second. "Today, I see. Well, I'll do my best to accommodate you, Sir Jeff. Thank you." As she hung up, Terry raised an eyebrow. "Everything okay, Mom?" Maureen sighed, running a hand through her graying hair. "That was a new client, Sir Jeff. He's quite particular and needs his apartment cleaned today. I hate to do this on your first day back, but I'll have to rain-check our catch-up plans." Terry sat up straighter, an idea forming in his mind. "Hey, why don't I help you out? I've got nothing else planned." His mother's eyes widened. "Oh, honey, that's so sweet of you to offer, but—" She hesitated, biting her lip. "Sir Jeff only allows women to clean his apartment. He's got this valuable porcelain collection, and he's rather particular about who handles it." Terry's shoulders slumped in disappointment. He hated seeing his mother stressed on what should have been a happy day. Suddenly, a wild thought crossed his mind. What if I went as a woman? Maureen's jaw dropped. "You mean crossdress?" Terry nodded, a mischievous glint in his eye. "Yeah, why not? It's not like it'd be the first time. Remember those drama club productions in high school?" His mother's expression shifted from shock to consideration. "Well, I suppose, if you're really okay with it, but we'd have to hurry. There's so much to do." What followed was a whirlwind of activity. They raided Maureen's closet for suitable attire, settling on a modest knee-length skirt and a blouse. Terry submitted to a hasty full-body shave, wincing as the razor glided over his legs. "Hold still," Maureen instructed as she applied foundation to her son's face. "You've got such nice bone structure. With a little contouring, you'll look stunning." Terry grimaced. "Gee, thanks, Mom. Just what every guy wants to hear." Next came the wig, a shoulder-length auburn number that framed Terry's face nicely. As a finishing touch, Maureen helped him stuff a bra with silicone inserts. "There," she said, stepping back to admire her handiwork. "You make quite the pretty girl, Terry. Or should I say, Tori?" Terry examined his reflection in the full-length mirror, barely recognizing himself. The transformation was remarkable. "Tori," he repeated, testing out the name. "I like it." They made a quick stop at the grocery store for ingredients to prepare a meal for Sir Jeff, part of the cleaning service package. As they approached the checkout, Terry felt a mix of anxiety and exhilaration. Would anyone see through his disguise? The cashier, a bored-looking teenager, barely glanced up as she scanned their items. "That'll be $47.83, she drawled. Terry reached for his wallet, then froze. His voice. He hadn't practiced speaking in a higher pitch. Panicking, he looked to his mother for help. Maureen smoothly intervened. "Here you go, dear," she said, handing over her credit card. To the cashier, she added, "My daughter's got a sore throat. Poor thing can barely speak above a whisper." The cashier nodded sympathetically. "That sucks. Hope you feel better soon." Terry managed a weak smile and a small wave as they left the store, heart pounding. That had been close. As they drove to Sir Jeff's apartment, Maureen went over the cleaning routine. Remember, dust first, then vacuum. Be extra careful with the porcelain pieces. And if Sir Jeff asks any questions, let you handle it, Terry finished. Got it, Mom? They arrived at a stately apartment building in one of the city's more affluent neighborhoods. The doorman eyed them curiously as they lugged their cleaning supplies and groceries inside. 14th floor, Maureen instructed as they stepped into the elevator. Are you ready for this, honey? Terry took a deep breath, adjusting his wig. As ready as I'll ever be. Sir Jeff's apartment was a marvel of modern design, all sleek lines and minimalist furniture. But what caught Terry's eye were the display cases lining the walls, filled with an array of delicate porcelain figurines. Wow, he breathed, forgetting for a moment to modulate his voice. Maureen shot him a warning look. Why don't you start dusting in here, dear? I'll get started on the meal prep in the kitchen. Terry nodded, picking up a feather duster with trepidation. He approached the first display case, studying the intricate figurines within. There were animals, mythical creatures, and human forms, each crafted with exquisite detail. As he carefully ran the duster over the glass, he found himself becoming fascinated by the artistry. Time seemed to fly by as Terry lost himself in the cleaning routine. He was so engrossed that he didn't hear the front door open until a deep voice boomed through the apartment. Hello? Maureen! Terry froze, his heart leaping into his throat. Sir Jeff wasn't supposed to be home for hours yet. Footsteps approached, and Terry turned to see a distinguished-looking man in his 50s enter the room. Sir Jeff's eyes widened slightly as he took in the sight of the unfamiliar woman in his living room. Oh, I'm sorry, Sir Jeff said, his tone polite but confused. I wasn't expecting... Are you with Maureen's cleaning service? Terry nodded, desperately trying to remember how to speak. Yes, he managed in a soft, slightly higher-pitched voice. I'm Tori, Maureen's daughter. She's in the kitchen. Sir Jeff's expression cleared. I see. It's a pleasure to meet you, Tori. I hope my collection hasn't been giving you too much trouble. Before Terry could respond, Maureen hurried in from the kitchen, a look of surprise on her face. Sir Jeff? We weren't expecting you back so soon. Change of plans, Sir Jeff explained with a rueful smile. The meeting wrapped up earlier than anticipated. I hope I'm not interrupting your work. Not at all, Maureen assured him. In fact, we're nearly finished. Tori here has been doing an excellent job with your porcelain pieces. Sir Jeff turned his attention back to Terry, who felt a bead of sweat trickle down his back beneath the blouse. Is that so? Well, I must say I'm impressed. Not many people appreciate the delicacy required to handle these pieces. Terry managed a small smile. They're beautiful, he murmured, gesturing to the figurines. I've never seen craftsmanship like this before. A spark of enthusiasm lit up Sir Jeff's eyes. Oh, you're interested in porcelain? Here, let me show you my prized piece. For the next half hour, Terry found himself drawn into a surprisingly engaging conversation about the history and artistry of porcelain figurines. Sir Jeff's knowledge was encyclopedic, and Terry found himself genuinely fascinated. He almost forgot about maintaining his feminine persona, though he was careful to keep his voice soft and his mannerisms demure. As the cleaning session drew to a close, Sir Jeff turned to Maureen with a pleased expression. I must say, Maureen, your daughter is a delight. Would it be possible for Tori to join you on future cleaning visits? Maureen shot a quick glance at Terry before responding. Of course, if that's what you'd prefer. Tori would be happy to help out, wouldn't you, dear? Terry nodded, a mixture of relief and trepidation swirling in his stomach. Yes, I'd be glad to. As they drove home, Maureen couldn't stop chuckling. Well, that was certainly an adventure. You did wonderfully, Terry. Or should I say, Tori? Terry groaned, slumping in his seat. I can't believe we pulled that off. But Mom, what are we going to do now? Sir Jeff wants Tori to keep coming back. Maureen patted his knee reassuringly. We'll figure it out, sweetheart. One step at a time. And so began Terry's double life as Tori, the charming and knowledgeable cleaning lady who quickly became Sir Jeff's favorite. Each visit brought new challenges and close calls, but also unexpected moments of connection and learning. As the summer progressed, Terry found himself looking forward to his visits as Tori. Sir Jeff's vast knowledge of art and history sparked a genuine interest in Terry, and their conversations ranged far beyond porcelain figurines. They discussed literature, philosophy, and current events, with Terry carefully offering opinions that wouldn't seem out of character for a young woman of Tori's supposed background. One particularly memorable afternoon, Sir Jeff invited Tori to join him for tea after the cleaning was done. Terry, caught off guard, looked to his mother for guidance. Maureen smoothly intervened. "That's very kind of you, Sir Jeff. I'm sure Tori would be delighted, wouldn't you, dear?" Terry nodded, trying to keep the panic from showing on his carefully made-up face. "Yes, thank you. That would be lovely." As Maureen made her excuses and left, Terry found himself alone with Sir Jeff for the first time. They settled into the plush armchairs in the living room, surrounded by the gleaming display cases. Sir Jeff poured the tea with practiced elegance. "I hope you don't mind my saying so, Tori, but I've quite enjoyed our conversations over these past weeks. It's rare to find someone your age with such a keen interest in the arts." Terry sipped his tea, buying time to formulate a response. "Thank you, Sir Jeff. I've learned so much from you. Your knowledge is truly impressive." A comfortable silence fell between them as they enjoyed their tea. Terry's eyes wandered to a new addition to the porcelain collection, a delicate figurine of a ballet dancer in mid-pirouette. Sir Jeff followed his gaze. "Ah, you've noticed my latest acquisition. What do you think?" Terry leaned in for a closer look, genuinely intrigued. "It's exquisite. The balance and poise. It's almost as if she could come to life at any moment." Sir Jeff's eyes lit up with enthusiasm. "Exactly. That's precisely what drew me to this piece. The artist has captured not just the form, but the very essence of movement." As Sir Jeff launched into a detailed explanation of the figurine's history and craftsmanship, Terry found himself utterly engrossed. He asked questions, offered observations, and before he knew it, an hour had passed in animated discussion. It was only when Sir Jeff glanced at his watch that Terry remembered the precariousness of his situation. "Oh my, where has the time gone? I do apologize, Tori. I'm sure you have other commitments." Terry rose, smoothing down his skirt. "Not at all, Sir Jeff. I've enjoyed our chat immensely. Thank you for the tea." As he gathered his things to leave, Sir Jeff called out, "Tori, I hope you know that you're always welcome here, even when you're not on cleaning duty. Perhaps we could visit a museum together sometime. I'd love to show you some of the pieces we've discussed in person." Terry felt a pang of guilt mixed with a surprising warmth. "That's very kind of you, Sir Jeff. I'll have to check my schedule." As he walked home, having arranged to meet his mother later, Terry's mind whirled with conflicting emotions. On one hand, he was exhilarated by the intellectual stimulation of his conversations with Sir Jeff. On the other, the weight of his deception was beginning to weigh heavily on him. Weeks turned into months, and Tori's visits to Sir Jeff's apartment became a regular fixture in Terry's life. He found himself spending more time in his feminine persona, even outside of the cleaning sessions. Sometimes he would dress up as Tori just to visit the library or an art gallery, reveling in the freedom to explore interests he had always kept hidden. But as his final year of university approached, Terry knew he couldn't keep up the charade forever. The stress of maintaining his double life was taking its toll, and he longed to be honest with Sir Jeff, who had become something of a mentor to him. It was during one of their now routine tea sessions that Terry finally gathered the courage to reveal the truth. His hands trembled as he set down his teacup, the delicate china clinking against the saucer. "Sir Jeff," he began, his voice wavering, "there's something I need to tell you." Sir Jeff looked up from the book of Renaissance art they had been discussing, his expression concerned. "What is it, my dear? You look troubled." Terry took a deep breath, steeling himself. I haven't been entirely honest with you. My name isn't really Tori, it's Terry, and I'm not a woman." A heavy silence fell over the room. Terry's heart pounded in his chest as he watched a series of emotions flicker across Sir Jeff's face. Confusion, shock, and then understanding? To Terry's surprise, Sir Jeff's lips curved into a gentle smile. "Oh, Terry," he said softly. "I've known for quite some time." Terry's jaw dropped. You knew? But how? When?" Sir Jeff chuckled, reaching out to pat Terry's hand reassuringly. "My dear boy, I may be getting on in years, but I'm not blind. There were little tells, the way you sometimes forgot to modulate your voice, your in-depth knowledge of computer science. But more than that, it was the connection we formed. I've never met anyone, man or woman, who shared my passions so completely." Tears welled up in Terry's eyes, a mix of relief and residual fear. "You're not angry?" "Angry? Heavens, no," Sir Jeff assured him. "Surprised, certainly, but angry? How could I be when our conversations have brought me so much joy these past months?" Terry wiped at his eyes, careful not to smudge his mascara. "I'm so sorry for deceiving you. It started as a way to help my mother, but then I found I enjoyed being Tori. It let me explore parts of myself I'd always kept hidden." Sir Jeff nodded thoughtfully. "Identity is a complex thing, Terry. We all wear different masks in different situations. What matters is the essence of who we are beneath those masks." They talked long into the evening, Terry finally able to share his full story. His studies in computer science, his occasional forays into cross-dressing before this summer, his fears and hopes for the future. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the apartment, Sir Jeff leaned back in his chair with a contemplative expression. "You know, Terry, I have a proposition for you. How would you like to intern at my tech company next summer? We could use someone with your skills and unique perspective." Terry's eyes widened. "Are you serious? That would be amazing." Sir Jeff smiled. "On one condition," he added with a twinkle in his eye. "I'd like Tori to join us for dinner occasionally. I've grown rather fond of her company." Terry laughed, feeling lighter than he had in months. "I think that can be arranged." As he left Sir Jeff's apartment that evening, Terry felt as though a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. He had feared losing the connection he'd formed with Sir Jeff, but instead, their bond had only grown stronger through honesty. The years that followed were a whirlwind of growth and self-discovery for Terry. He threw himself into his studies with renewed vigor, driven by the prospect of the internship awaiting him. His experiences as Tori had opened his eyes to new perspectives and interests, enriching his approach to problem-solving in his computer science courses. Terry's dual nature became an integral part of his identity. He no longer felt the need to hide his feminine side, instead embracing it as a valuable facet of who he was. He joined the university's trans group. It was at one of these group meetings that Terry met Samantha, a vivacious art history major with a passion for challenging societal norms. Their connection was instant, and as their relationship blossomed, Terry found the courage to share his experiences as Tori. To his relief and joy, Samantha was not only accepting, but enthusiastic. "Oh my God, that's amazing!" she exclaimed when he finished his story. "You have to let me help with your makeup sometime. I bet we could create some stunning looks." With Samantha's support, Terry's confidence soared. He began to experiment more with his appearance, sometimes incorporating subtle feminine elements into his everyday wardrobe. A pair of earrings here, a floral print shirt there, small touches that felt true to his evolving sense of self. As promised, Sir Jeff became a mentor to Terry, offering guidance not just in matters of career, but in life as well. Their dinners, with Terry alternating between his male and female personas, became a treasured tradition. Sir Jeff's acceptance and encouragement helped Terry navigate the complexities of his identity with grace and self-assurance. Terry's mother, Maureen, watched her son's transformation with a mixture of pride and wonderment. The shy, sometimes withdrawn boy she had known was blossoming into a confident, multifaceted young man. Their bond, always strong, deepened as they shared the unique experience of Terry's journey. "You know," Maureen said one evening as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, "I never could have imagined where that first cleaning job would lead, but seeing you now so comfortable in your own skin, it's all I ever wanted for you, sweetheart." Terry squeezed his mother's hand, grateful beyond words for her unwavering support. As his final year of university drew to a close, Terry threw himself into his thesis project, an innovative software program that used AI to analyze and categorize art based on style, period, and cultural significance. The project combined his technical skills with the passion for art history he had developed through his conversations with Sir Jeff. His professors were impressed, and word of his work spread beyond the university. By the time graduation rolled around, Terry had job offers from several top tech companies. But there was never any real question about where he would go. On a bright June morning, Terry stood before his mirror, adjusting his tie. His graduation robe hung nearby, ready for the ceremony later that day. As he studied his reflection, he marveled at how far he had come. The face looking back at him was neither purely Terry nor Tori, but a perfect synthesis of both, confident, intelligent, and utterly unique. A knock at the door interrupted his reverie. "You ready, hon?" Samantha called. "Your mom's getting antsy and we still need to pick up Sir Jeff." Terry grinned, grabbing his robe. "Coming." As they drove to the university, Terry's heart swelled with gratitude. In the back seat, his mother and Sir Jeff chatted animatedly, an unlikely but beautiful friendship having formed between them. Beside him, Samantha squeezed his hand, her eyes shining with pride and love. The graduation ceremony was a blur of speeches and applause. When Terry's name was called, he strode across the stage with his head held high, accepting his diploma to the cheers of his unconventional but beloved family. Later, as they celebrated over dinner, Sir Jeff raised his glass in a toast. "To Terry," he said, his voice rich with emotion, "a young man of remarkable talent, courage, and authenticity. The tech world won't know what hit it." As glasses clinked and congratulations flowed, Terry felt a profound sense of peace. He had found his place in the world, not by conforming to others' expectations, but by embracing every aspect of himself. The future stretched out before him, full of promise and possibility. There would be challenges, of course, but Terry knew he had the strength and support to face them. Whether as Terry or Tori, in the boardroom or the art gallery, he was ready to leave his mark on the world. As the evening wound down, Terry excused himself for a moment, stepping out onto the restaurant's balcony. The city lights twinkled below, a tapestry of possibilities. He took a deep breath, savoring the moment. "Hey," Samantha's voice came from behind him. "Everything okay?" Terry turned, smiling as she joined him at the railing. "Everything's perfect," he said, wrapping an arm around her waist. "I was just thinking about how lucky I am." Samantha leaned her head on his shoulder. "We're the lucky ones. You've shown us all what it means to be truly, unapologetically yourself." As they stood there, looking out over the city that had witnessed his transformation, Terry felt a sense of excitement for the journey ahead. Whatever challenges lay in store, he knew he had the strength, the support, and the self-awareness to face them head-on. With a contented sigh, he turned back towards the warm glow of the restaurant, where his loved ones waited. It was time to rejoin the celebration, not just of his academic achievements, but of the beautiful, complex person he had become. Hand in hand with Samantha, Terry stepped back into the light, ready to embrace whatever the future might hold. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.